Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 835, we're going to talk about Odric the Blood Cursed. This is the, 37th time we've seen Odric. Let's see if he's any different. So we got 3 mana for a 3/3 Vampire Soldier. Hence the red, the vampires finally got him. Okay. When Odric enters the battlefield, create X blood tokens, where X is the number of abilities from among Flying, First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, Vigilance. Found among creatures you control. Of course, you count each ability only once. So, Odric only works when he enters the battlefield and creates blood tokens. I'll be honest with you, the keyword soup aspect, we have seen that before with Odric, but never in red and white. So, I'm all over the place with this deck. Just bear with me, and I'll show you where I started from. I have been wanting to do something with Barren Glory for a long time. Now, Barren Glory, 6 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control no other permanents and have no cards in hand, you win. Now, that is a very tall order, because to have no cards in hand, no lands, nothing else besides this. So, but the way to do it is you play Barren Glory, and then you O-ring it, right? Because when Oblivion Ring enters the battlefield, you exile the Barren Glory, right? And then when this leaves, it comes back. Apocalypse. You remove all permanents from the game and you discard your hand. So the only thing you have left is Barren Glory, and you win. Now, also, recently unbanned Worldfire. Of course, you exile all permanents, all cards from player's hand, and each player's life total becomes 1. This also works if you have that little plinker thing that deals 1 damage to all opponents. You can O-ring it in Worldfire. Yeah. Anyway, that's where I started from. And I was like, well, what is that? That's 2 sorceries, 2 enchantments. I know all that stuff's expensive, so I'm going to need some ramp, We have Soul Ring, Expedition Map, the Boros Signet, Locket, Cluestone, then of course for that one big ritual, the Mana Geyser. So, a little bit of card draw, mainly card selection, Faithless Looting and Tormenting Voice. But I was like, well, my big deal combo is 2 sorceries, 2 enchantments. And I do kind of want the blood token thing for filtering, so I thought instantly the creatures with, abilities, Rogrock here, First Strike, Miss, Trample are 3 of those that he cares about. Also, the Swift Blade Vindicator is Double Strike, Vigilance, Trample. The Adult Gold Dragon, Flying, Lifelink, Haste. Now, if I had had another original copy of Odric, one of the many others that counts abilities, would have been great. If you got it, run it. I didn't have it. But then I come across Danitha Compassion. First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink. So she kind of met the criteria, because I was looking for as many. A Chroma would have been great, but as many abilities as possible without being, crazy expensive. So, First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, but your aura and equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And I went, well, there's that one equipment, Haunted Cloak, where equipped creature gains Vigilance, Trample, Haste. That's neat. And then with our main theme being 2 enchantments, so I said, you know what? Maybe we throw an Enchantress in here, and a SRAM. You cast an aura or equipment, because Danitha cares about auras and equipment. We're starting to care about auras and equipment. So Explorer's Scope, helping getting that land ramp. Loxodon Warhammer, trample and lifelink it grants. It's an equipment. It gets the +3. I mean, Fire Shrieker's going to grant double strike. Swiftfoot Boots is going to protect our thing. The Colossus Hammer's just going to, pound. Grafted Exoskeleton's always fun at parties. And the Helm of the Host, in case we need multiple enchantresses, multiple SRAMs, multiple whatevers, Our enchantments. Here's something I did I don't normally do. Things that count your basic land types, like Granite Grip, Claws of Valakut, and Armored Ascension are all 3 in this deck, because they're all auras. They all pump a creature. I am using probably a few more basic lands than normal. I don't have as many non-basics in this particular deck. But Ethereal Armor had to be in there. The one from Throne I don't have. Trinket, 2 mana. It's got the little... You know what I'm talking about. Griff's Moon. Now, this one's perfect because you get to get it back from your graveyard. Yeah. Face of the Divinity. What I'm using since I don't have the expensive one. Battle Mastery, granting double strike. The Ghostblade Eidolon can be a aura. Now, Spirit Link. Here's a moment here. Spirit Link is not Lifelink. 2 separate cards, 2 separate abilities. Spirit Link was the original version. In Legends, this was originally printed and reprinted in core sets for a long time. Now, for some reason, it's due to the wording. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage, you gain life equal to damage dealt this way. Now, it has not been errated to lifelink. There are 2 separate things. So if you have lifelink and you Spirit Link it, you're gaining double life. However, one of my personal favorite things, we play a multiplayer game. So one of my personal favorite things is to slap our Spirit Link on an opponent's creature. Yes, it deals damage to us, and then we instantly gain that life, so hey. But when it deals damage to an opponent, we gain that life. Amazing, amazing card. Sage's Reverie. Draw a card for each aura that's attached to a creature. Wow. This is why Sage's Reverie, the wording here, when it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each aura you control that's attached to a creature. That's including stuff like Pacifism, Vow of Duty, because those are auras attached to creatures. Doesn't say you control. We've got the Open the Armory to help get something tutored to our hand. Reconstruct History. The more and more I play this card, the more I like it. You could just get... I mean, we don't have a walker in the deck, but still a 1 for 3, that's not bad. Because we can get an artifact, an enchantment, an instant, a sorcery. 1 for 4, my bad. Yeah. And then make a stand to protect our creatures. What creatures, you ask? I am glad you asked. We don't have a lot, because we're doing the enchantment thing, so why not have the Sigil of the Empty Throne? And since we are doing the enchantment thing, Sphere of Safety and Crystal Chime seem to fit in there nicely. But we have Celestial Ancient. Needed something in the air. I put this in a lot of decks, but I cut it late in the process. This time it didn't get cut. It probably will get cut at some point. Especially since this is a hybrid equipment and aura deck, so But we do have our 5 legendary helpers. Rayoff. That's enchanted or equipped, it's going to gain double strike. Tiana, flying first strike, aura equipment, Brunor Battlehammer. For each creature you control, for each equipment attached to it. Wow. Valdic. Aura and equipment. Wyleth. Draw a card for each aura and equipment. So that's kind of where I I landed. Am I super focused in any one direction? No. Is it going to be a blast to play? Probably. Mainly because our commander doesn't have that wow factor. It comes into play, we get the blood tokens once. That's just going to help us filter, but that's it. So, let's look at our removal, shall we? We have Vandal Blast, something. Sometimes everything's got to go. Rip Apart. Love this card. Lightning Helix. This is a holdover from a where I had started building. This is a slot, probably for another RR equipment or something. For when I was going to put in the Boros Hammer that fetches out instants. And then it turned out there wasn't that many, but this stayed in somehow. Anyway, Disenchant. Pillage, because we've got to have a way to deal with troublesome lands. Condemn. It's a little spot removal. And then since we don't have a lot of creatures, we need a lot of removal, right? A lot of board wipes. So we've got the Chain Reaction, Day of Judgment, Rout, Planar Outburst, and finally, Blasphemous Act. As I said, that is not a lot of non-basics. I mean, we've got the Terramorphic and the Evolving that are just going to replace themselves with basics. The Rogue's Passage, of course, in case we have to do that commander damage thing. Got to have the Command Tower. But then the rest of these are just two-color lands, Windscarred Crag, Boros Garrison, Boros Guildgate, Lorehold Campus, Great Furnace. Now, the Great Furnace was in here. There was a theme earlier. This is another card that just didn't get taken out. Artifact lands, number of artifacts you control, the Metalcraft theme. I don't know. Thriving Heath and Thriving Bluff. So that is Odric. I have never been a real big fan of that character. But he's always been mono white, and this is the first time we've ever gotten to play with Odric that doesn't have to be mono white as the commander, That's right. I'm in my jammies. It's cold down here in Tennessee, finally. So 8:35 goes on the wall. And that says what we have got for today. I do appreciate everybody watching. Heads up for an announcement. By the time you see this, I will probably have already made that video. It is a special video regarding deck number 1000. If it's not up yet, it will soon be up. Got to cover some things with the patrons first, and then getting ready for it. So I have time to build it. Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. Thank you so much. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.